I'm so sorry.
Hi.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I fell asleep on the couch at
Sure.
first. And I thought, oh, I'll only nap for an hour, but um,
No, well, how was Japan?
it was great. It was really a very nice. It was a very nice trip. I like your cap.
Thank you. Yes, Caros represent.
Caros representing Caros. No, yeah. I mean, it went very well. I didn't try to do too much.
Sure.
I was with a colleague, Japanese colleague, Tsutomo, who for three out of 5 days. The other days I didn't need him because I was with people who spoke English.
Yeah.
It was kind of catching up with some clients and some
Yes.
people I hadn't seen in a long time. A couple of people actually I'd worked with at Christie's a long time ago who I really consider friends more than colleagues. So it was I'll tell you what was apart from anything else, it was good to be out of the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, they have their own issues there politically, but there was I was off the offline, so to
Yeah.
speak,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's a very it's a polite, tidy, organized country, at
Yes.
least superficially,
Yes.
which is all I care about because I wasn't. I had no intention to go beneath that,
Yeah.
um, or knowledge or ability to. But no, it was that was it is there is another universe where well there are other people who are not about to have Trump as president.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I am. No, I'm curious about a few things. Was there anything that you especially wanted to do while you were there? Was there anything that sort of really stood out that you just happened to do that you weren't necessarily planning? Like, yeah.
I um I went with a client who is now 88, and her um she was a collector, and I helped her with a little museum she has in Colorado, but she now lives in Japan. Her husband, American husband, died 25 years ago. He has a male companion Japanese guy, an architect called Hiroshi. Her name is Kimiko. And they took me on Monday to a hot spring resort where we spent
Oh,
the
yeah.
night and kind of you eat traditional food.
Yeah.
It's very quiet. It's in the country. And that was as soon as I arrived. That was kind of the first 2 days, and that was I had done it once before, but a long time ago, and I found that very calming and very refreshing. And uh, yeah, so I don't know. I was catching up with people who I don't necessarily have business with right now, but could people who I did work with even when I was at Christie's. And I don't know. We're all older, but we're happy to see each other,
Yes.
and uh, and that's kind of valued there. I don't know if that's
Yes.
age or length of relationships is something that, um, yeah. So I did not every conversation was about headline news, and I think that was.
Right. No, right. What is.
Although the big movies there were Back to Black and Bike Riders, but I just happened to see that on the.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything is there anything that what would surprise me, or what would someone might not know about Japanese culture that you experienced, or that yeah.
Um, well, for a non, I mean, I was going to say for a non-Christian country, Christmas is pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have very rich and sometimes lengthy holidays that we don't have.
Yes.
They have a golden week, which is a week,
Hold on for 1 second.
So,
Hey, here you go.
Hey, I won't bother in a minute. I got a doctor who's down to help us with some fiber and stuff, like rural milk and all kind of stuff. But I just don't want to put myself in a problem where people feel like it's all, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
So I'm gonna help my friends, but when it's time for that, man, I'm gonna stay out the way.
No,
you a couple
you
of
did
real
you did a great job around the side and around the back. You did an amazing job. That's a little bit extra for the holiday, and then I'll see you in the new year. Okay.
Milk is what I'm at.
Okay.
And I
Take.
you go already get your own.
Okay. Take care of yourself. Okay. Yeah. Talk to you soon. Bye. Sorry about that. I had
no,
to.
no, that was a holiday. Your
Yeah.
no,
Got to take care of the. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You were go on.
no, oh, Christmas, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then other holidays.
well, they have all the holidays, so it's a bit surprising that they go, full
Yeah.
in Christmas. I don't know actually how it affects their work daily calendar. I
Right.
mean, as far as the day, but they certainly do. Uh, uh, I mean, I was in Ginza, the main kind of shopping area where the hotels and stores are. So
Yes.
they're all decorated.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't think they do gift giving on Christmas Day.
Right.
I think they do the kind of the general look.
But right, no, right. The aesthetics of it, not necessarily. But I can also remember. I mean, when you were at Christie's and you did a lot of business with them, they would call on Christmas Day, like people from Japan.
Oh,
Because
that's right, they did. I had a call from Chris. Yes, I had a call from Christie's office on Christmas Day, so they were obviously working. That I don't know. That was a long time. That must have been 30
yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
But I don't know. No, I think that they probably don't take the day as a holiday,
Yeah.
but they do take the.
The,
I mean, they had a toy hospital set up in the lobby of my hotel, which is obviously to appeal to
yeah.
people who might have brought their children into the center of the city to see Christmas
Yes.
decorations.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Right on.
But no, it was good weather. It was cold, but it was good weather.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. And where
yeah.
were you? Where were you in Japan? You went to a couple of cities, right?
No, I was only really in Tokyo.
Okay.
And then
Oh, okay.
the overnight stay was in a hot spring, which was on the coast. It was probably about 90 minutes. I don't know the exact name of the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
We drove there. So so that was it was good. And I was fine when I was there. I came back yesterday. I slept last night, and
Sure.
then I felt okay until about. Well, I didn't feel bad, but at 3 o'clock I just felt very tired. So I
Sure.
laid down, and I thought, well, I only napped for about an hour, but then I woke up and saw I said, oh my God,
It's no. Yeah. It's
well,
totally.
I'm glad. So what have you been up to?
I have no. I've personally just been up to the same as usual. December's been very busy. We get, I'm very fortunate that I do get the week between Christmas and New Year's off, but I have a lot to do to wrap up before that. I have a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
projects that I've been working on, including some new stuff that I actually no, that's really it's kind of a little bit different than what I've been doing. More family focused, less like childcare provider, and more specifically focused on families, and that's been fun work. No, I am good. I'm just yeah, the dogs are good. Duke had a thing where well, he's still kind of a little shaky and wobbly, but a couple of days he really didn't seem very well. But he's hanging in there. Everyone's good. I am curious. No, I know you said you were kind of like you got to take a kind of a break from everything in the U.S. But
Yeah.
what stories, what news carried over there? What how is it covered that may be different from here? Was there any, or was it just like people weren't talking about U.S.
Oh, yeah, they talk about, they kind of ask me, "Are you worried about
Hmm.
Donald Trump?" I mean, they're certainly, um, uh, I mean, depending upon somebody who lived here obviously has a better perspective, but most of the people, um, well, I mean, it's interesting because they have, uh, they're aware that they have a prime minister who's just had to resign. They the they have much less respect for politicians, or let's say they have less faith or hope in politicians.
Ha
In other words, they don't even assume they're ever going to do anything except line their own
ha,
pockets.
and that's just sort of
Not
that
necessarily cynicism, it's reality.
right, and that's widespread, or
It's
that was your
pretty
press.
widespread. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yes, pretty widespread, which is that they're crooks and, you know, and they say, well, their prime minister just had to resign. I don't know, they've got an interim one in South. They talk about Korea all the time. They say,
Yes.
well, because that's actually going on, like
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yes.
or and
Yes.
they're actually people I spoke to, they're very aware of what's going on um in Korea and China.
Uh-huh.
Uh, they have, I mean, they have a love-hate relationship with both places.
Yes.
Um, they think Koreans are inferior, except for their cosmetic, because they consume a vast amount of Korean culture. I
Uh-huh.
mean, culture is popular in Japan too with young people. Um, and China, again, they think they're better than the Chinese, but at the same time, and they complain about Chinese tourists, except they complain when they don't come now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that seems to be worldwide. We don't want your tourists, but we do want their money. And I don't know. I mean that's especially true of American tourists, but I mean I think all around the world, and especially in Europe and places like Spain and Italy, they're really grappling with. And what do you do when the government wants the tourists, but the residents of cities and towns,
Yeah,
they don't benefit directly. They don't want the tourists. So that's who creates the welcoming vibe or not. I mean, and so
yeah. Well, the tourists tend. I mean, I've seen Chinese tourists, groups of them in Japan. They tend to not care whether they're. No, I mean,
I mean, no. It's not. They're in their own sphere.
yeah.
Well, that's true of many tourists. They're in their own sphere. They don't really care whether you want them there or not.
But I actually I had dinner with one woman who left Christie's quite a long time ago, and actually she'd been working for Estee Lauder there, and she's about to retire.
Hmm.
She said that Estee Lauder made a huge financial gamble on building a factory in Japan,
Hmm.
basically to manufacture for the Chinese market. but not for the Chinese, not to export. Chinese people come to
Oh,
Japan
huh.
to buy
Yes,
cosmetics
yes.
because they don't believe that those cosmetics that they have in China are real, even if they are.
Huh.
They
Yeah,
don't,
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
don't, they don't believe that the brands sold to them in China.
Uh-huh.
They don't trust them, whether they're Chanel, whatever they are.
So
So
they'll travel to get them where they think they're,
absolutely,
yeah.
they go to Japan and they will buy this, but they're, although what happened with the economy is it's not happening as much. So
Mhm.
in fact, the gamble is not necessarily paying off.
Mm.
But even so, they restrict people to 7 items of the same product, even at retail prices. In other words, you can't go into a store and buy, I don't know, 7 bottles of perfume.
Right, right.
Chinese, well, I mean, the only people who are going to do it are the Chinese
Sure.
because they buy as much as they can
Yeah.
and they send it back to China where it is resold at more than retail
Right,
because it's come from Japan.
right, right, right.
Therefore, it's real.
Yeah. Even though, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it's a and I guess they try to sue the companies in China that are making the knockoffs, but
Right, right. Um,
and it's a bit weird, not trusting. It's like, I don't know, it's like we'd go to Mexico to buy a Ralph Lauren suit because we don't think the one here is real.
right.
Well, it also means that the consumers are obsessed with branding too.
Sure, no, sure. Sorry, I had to look this up. So, of all the stories that have happened in the last couple of weeks, Florida Senator Rick Scott has gone on a tirade specifically about Chinese garlic, and I don't know if he has some constituent in his district. I thought most garlic came from Gilroy, California, but he's gone on this thing about Chinese garlic, and he's saying two things. One, well, he's using sort of general stereotypes. We all know, child labor. Basically child labor, and I'm like, yeah, but check your own state. That's happening more and more in America, and it's happening. I mean, it's happening especially throughout the South. It's happening in manufacture. It's happening in textile. It's happening in food processing, especially. You're going to find, and so oftentimes undocumented children as young as 10, 11, 12 in the United States. But I don't know. In any event, some senator went off on a.
Working in the meat, being injured in the meat industry with underage children in places like Purdue Chicken or whatever.
Yeah,
Fat.
yeah.
But he said what about the Chinese garlic is?
I don't know why he's picked this topic in particular, but he's just.
He thinks that it has to do with underage children are making Chinese garlic or picking it or
Well, he wants to ban it, but yeah, no, making it, picking it.
he wants to ban it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't know why specifically garlic as opposed to sort of everything else that comes from China, but that's just something that
Well,
got my.
it's interesting because it reminds me of Trump's continued insistence that bacon was getting more expensive when it wasn't.
Right,
But
no, right,
bacon. He got obsessed with bacon.
yeah.
And I don't know whether it was because he eats a lot of bacon or because it just stuck in his head.
Yeah. I think no, I honestly of his refrains, I think what happens, I think he shops them. I think he finds a thing that works, and I think for whatever reason, I mean, it's like, in comedy, the rule that tomato is a funny word, kumquat is a funny word, other words just simply aren't funny. He found bacon, it resonated, and so it's just a line that he uses over and over, and a lot of his things are like that, and they're just bits. They're just bits. Okay, but oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So, well, you had mentioned obviously the joy of getting away from that for a minute, and I think lots of people have talked about the trauma responses that people are having. So, flight if you can, leave the country either temporarily or permanently. Fight, obviously many activists gearing up now to fight whatever is coming in ahead. Freeze, a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, wake me in 4 years. I don't want to see the news, and I think that's totally valid. I have to know what's going on in the world. I'd rather know than not know, but I understand people who don't. But then the other one is fawn. That's one that people don't talk about as often. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. People will start to then try and appease their abuser, and that's fawn. And that's, I mean, I don't know if you've heard Amazon has donated money to him now. Facebook, Meta has donated money to him now and gave him smart glasses. They're all kissing the ring. And it's not surprising, but it's
rank public hypocrisy. I mean, but so is it's hypocrisy for half of the or more than half of the people who he's now appointing, who are now his slaves, have gone on record in years past for saying terrible things about him. But they're now, I mean, Kennedy said the guy's a moron.
Yes.
A year ago, the guy's a moron.
Yes.
Now he's his substitute father, God and king.
Okay, I go back and forth on this one, and not just Kennedy, but Elon Musk. Many of the people, the current regime who he's surrounded himself with, are all people. J.D. Vance are all people who have said very specific things. As recently as 2 or 3 years ago. Nonetheless, people are allowed to change their opinions. I don't automatically think it's hypocrisy. What I do think is hypocrisy is he wins on November 5th, and now we're going to completely shift our policies.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, there are two. I think there are at least two. There are probably a number of categories. There are the people who, like the press who right before the election told their editorial boards they were no longer
yes,
support a candidate.
Yes.
Because they were afraid, because they thought Trump might win. So,
yes.
So they were paving the way for that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then there are the companies that were 100% supporting Harris, or who was left or center left, who booked their tickets to Mar-a-Lago the next, as soon as he won.
Yep.
They're elbowing each other to be at his table,
Mm-hmm.
to dine with this guy.
Yeah.
So these are individuals,
Yes.
like
Yep.
I don't know, Jeff Bezos. I don't know if these, but they're doing Elon got there first. I mean, he's way.
You have to give him credit for that. Yeah, no, but and again, like you said, I don't think this current round personally cares for him any more than the last one. I think it is an uneasy partnership. I think we will watch them all start to, as I always say, eat each other's tails. They will all just start to. Already leaks are happening, and someone will get fired or quit or storm off because they'll realize they couldn't control it.
Chaos. It will be chaotic, I think.
Yes, but less so than the last time. As far as I think he has really surrounded himself with sycophants, as opposed to last time where he did try to kind of balance smart people for the appearance of, but then he never listened to them and they got frustrated. But this time it's all people who kiss the ring. It's all about the fealty.
So he's going to take a slave worshiper who has absolutely no experience or talent for position, mm-hmm. and put him in charge of a huge government bureaucracy, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, whether it's health or FBI, yes. A guy who has probably, he can barely brush his own teeth. So the guy gets there, he gets behind his big desk at the top of the building, right?
Yes.
And got orders from Trump to take it apart, fire it, whatever his orders are, right? So he's actually going to find out, because most of them are going to be
sure.
men.
Yes.
He's going to find out that even though he's a handsome person, that actually it's not going to be very easy for him to do what he's been told to do, because A, he's got a huge bureaucracy,
Yes.
and B, in order to do things that radical, and even though he's got a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate,
Right.
he actually needs laws to change
Yes.
in order to do that.
Yeah. No. Yes. Some of
He
yes.
can't just press a button on his desk,
Right.
fire half the people, and change the policies.
Yes.
Because actually, so is Trump then going to fire that person because he claims that he didn't follow his orders? Because
Right.
he can't because they're
No.
not following.
Right. Right.
And then find another person, or is there going to be, the rhetoric that's being spouted now is going to be dialed back when reality sets in?
Okay.
Well, the lies are going to be told. They're going to say, "Well, we're doing this, you just don't see it." Or I don't know.
Okay. To me, I don't. I really want to be careful. I don't engage in Schadenfreude. I want to be proven wrong. I hope they do a good job. I hope they don't dismantle, and I hope you are right that actually the mechanisms of government are in place, that they're incapable, or that they, to a certain extent, they can't. What I think is going to be most interesting, if really we're talking about government efficiency and all that, is almost all the pork of the government goes to red states. So it's going to start becoming very, very, my very specific gas reserves thing versus your state's very specific. Like, once we start talking about what we're actually trimming, it's not California. All the liberal states pay more to the federal government than they receive. It's the red states that get back from the federal government, and as such,
that. Yeah, that's a very good point.
so
Yeah.
so Congress is not. I mean, yeah, they're all going to start again. They're going to start fighting each other viciously over where the efficiencies are or aren't. So yeah, no, you say I want to cut NASA. Well, Huntington, all across from Florida to Georgia to Kentucky, there are aerospace companies that rely on those contracts. You're not just going to cut it. You're not like they don't. Yeah, and constituents to politicians in those states who aren't going to be happy if you fire 8,000 people at a factory who makes widgets that are needed for. So, and the military, which at the end of the day, while they did a remarkably good job of painting the Democrats as warmongers, despite the they are the most amount of pork, of course, is the military, and they're not going to cut any of that. Again, all of that's their states anyway. It's
So this guy who's going to be in charge of the military is, so how is he going to take every woman in the military off active duty? I mean, how is he going to do that? It's like giving, it's like giving giving them all a desk job or something. I mean,
it's But it's not. I mean, it's not even like giving. I mean, these are people who have careers, and it is when you talk about like unit cohesions, taking away supervisors and then putting in someone else randomly in the middle. That's not going to increase unit cohesion. I mean, these are. Well, that is one of the type of thing I have to hope is just talk. But no, the last time around they did do kinds of bans on trans people and things like that. So yeah, no, they will put their money where their mouth is. But whether or not, yeah, well, it's a good idea or not. Okay, drones. Do you?
I just saw. All I know is that I saw one morning when I was doing my exercises in the hotel, I put on CNN and I saw this story that local politicians in New Jersey were very upset because they weren't getting an explanation.
Well, okay, the
Told
Pentagon.
that they were harmless, but they weren't being told what they were.
Well, what the Pentagon has confirmed is that they are not military, nor are they foreign. They're not. They are, or at least they're saying, because people are already speculating in conspiracy theories. But the Pentagon is right now saying that they are not U.S. military, nor are they from a foreign body. But that still doesn't. But then that's not comforting. Someone's flying, and they're not small. They're like as big as like cars. They're not drones like a little like guy in the park flying.
They're not sleighs, are they, with reindeer?
No, well, I mean, but no, New Jersey.
Missions. I think it whoever is in charge of communications for whatever government entity actually knows what they are is doing a very bad job, because, as you said, it doesn't help people just to say what they're not.
Right.
You know that much about what they're not. You must know more than you're telling
About what they are. Yes. Yeah. No, that's
Not Amazon delivering packages in the middle of the night, but these huge. I didn't realize they were that big.
Yeah, but again, New Jersey, some in New York, Pennsylvania, they're and I mean it's been happening for a week or so. I have no details. I'm just yeah.
Well, maybe they. I don't know. Were they part of the capture of this guy who's now apparently a hero?
Oh, yeah, okay. I all of it. No, the hero worship, it's all so gross. And I mean, to me, I'm very clear. And I've been an anti-capitalist my entire life. And this is not a referendum on healthcare, executive privilege. This is entirely a referendum on street violence. And anyone who doesn't understand that has missed the thread of the plot so completely. They've just been desensitized by gun violence. They
have, because it actually shows you what the culture has become.
And it's really disappointing because it's left, right. I mean, people who I really like and respect, an artist who in the past they've created works of art that support trans people, that support reproductive rights, things that I believe in and care about. But they spend apparently all day painting a painting of bullets with these words on the I mean. I almost I didn't unfollow them, but I did send them a message and I didn't hear back from them. But I don't know, like. I'm surprised by the people who it's people who I like and care about who are making jokes, and I'm like, I'm the odd person out because I won't go along with that, and it's that, and increasingly like that, if you won't go along with that now, that's accusations that you're a right winger or something, because the only people who really are complaining are like Laura Ingraham, and like, but I nonetheless. This will never be my hero. He is not a leftist. He followed Ted Kaczynski. He's like a libertarian. They're like right-wing militia people. I don't think people even know who their folk hero is. Like he comes from privilege himself. He's not. I am so mad about all of it.
Why did this not happen with Ted Kaczynski?
Say it again.
Why was Ted Kaczynski?
Because he's bearded and not attractive.
Exactly.
Because I mean, it did happen with Ted Bundy, and he ate people. I mean, it happens if you're good and someone. I mean, a clinical psychologist who studies like contagion put it. We are conditioned to listen to men who look like him. We are conditioned as a society to believe, listen.
And Trump is appointing men who look handsome to him
with boxy in a very angular, very specific way. This guy he fit a profile.
I had when I left before they caught this guy, I can't reveal my sources. I had information from my sources inside the NYPD that they were looking at the wife. They were looking at because they're estranged, and they have been estranged. So I actually expected them to the guy who they arrested would actually been either the lover or paid by the wife.
Okay.
They also told me he's definitely not professional. I mean, this is before they caught the guy. Probably.
Right. No, and I mean, yeah, no, and that was various quote unquote experts said that they said it seemed okay, like many of things he meticulously planned in ways that they were impressed by, but like the fact that he stopped at Starbucks first, he did really, I mean, the fact he was caught in McDonald's with the gun on him, wearing the same outfit he had with the same backpack. I mean, yeah, obviously this guy wasn't I also think maybe he wanted to be caught. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But no, okay. The wife angle. I had not heard that. That would be fascinating. What would that do to people's folk hero if it turned out he was just a hired, that's all, it wasn't.
That would, and actually he's an incompetent amateur hitman doing it for the money or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, they do always look at the husband or the wife.
Sure. No. Yeah. No. I guess that's yes. That is.
But nobody in the. I mean, that was never. It was. I didn't read anywhere. I think it is appalling that that he is being treated as heroic.
I'm glad we're in agreement on that because I mean, people who I care about surprise me.
Surely you can be part of, or you can form a movement to complain about, or to change, or to be an activist against the. I mean, he could have. I mean, I can't remember her name now. She's very well known. The artist who brought down Sackler, who had all of these.
Yes. Yeah.
Demonstrations with people pouring blood over themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt, but they got a huge amount of publicity, and it did actually make the museums and the people who had taken the money. They did.
Yes.
It had an effect. So there are certain ways of doing. This guy's a nut. He's a nut. Whatever.
No, exactly. No, there's a guy who created a software. He said, okay, they're using AI to deny claims now. He created a software that uses AI to dispute claims, and it has an 85% conversion rate. So he's getting people that, but he's not a hero. He's not a household name. His picture.
Give me his number, because I have just received a bill for $3,000 for anesthesia for the hip operation, the most recent hip operation, 18 months after the operation.
Right. No, that's the other thing. That should be illegal. Like, there has to be a
hip, which was a year before.
Yeah.
They paid for everything. I was told they would pay for everything. They did pay for everything.
Right.
I had the identical procedure in the same hospital, the same surgeon, the same everything. They didn't say to me, "Oh, would you like to do this without anesthesia, or would you like to pay $3,000?"
Right.
I mean, they could have said that to me, and I would have said, actually, I'll pay the $3,000.
Right.
But I was known about it,
But
right? But now they're saying, they said 18. I got the letter just before I left for Japan. They're saying, "Oh, we no longer cover this. So what? You're going to cut people open now without anesthesia?"
Okay,
I'm not going to pay it, but I would like this guy's program.
I will send it to you.
I have to write my own measly letter.
But no, Blue Cross just got in trouble for, floating the idea that they would, I don't even limit the amount of anesthesia but just the idea of that got, okay, and as always, because two things can be true, again, we are in agreement. Nothing about this guy or is positive, but if it has provoked a national conversation about healthcare, we can have that conversation. That conversation is overdue, and if we're having that now, that we can separately have that conversation. And I think, I mean, the expense, the getting a bill. I think there has to be a cap on how long after or something you get a bill, because that's insane too. I mean, it's you have to have a reasonable way to plan your finances that without surprises like that. I mean,
I mean, I talked to just a couple of people who told me, don't pay it. They do it all the time. You just fight it. They're just they're trying it on, you
Well,
know?
well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Um,
I can't just send a bill I mean, that's actually, you get put in jail for doing that if you do it on the internet, right? If
uh,
I hack somebody and send them a bill and hope that they might be stupid enough to pay it, that's what they're doing,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Except they're a corporation and they have all the, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I forgot about that. Yes. So, um, well, drones, inept, good-looking assassins.
Anything from Art Basel? Did any of your people at your job go? Did you have you heard
Yes,
any?
we did. We did. Everybody except me went.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And any did you didn't have? It just was. It was. It was.
We
They.
did quite well. I haven't caught up because I left
Oh.
before that. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I missed I missed the Christmas I missed the gallery Christmas dinner,
Yes.
unfortunately. But I got a video of it almost, well, it was my colleague Tutomo and I actually had breakfast at the same time as in Japan as they were having the dinner. So,
Nice. Yeah.
you know, and uh, yeah, wait, I was thinking of something else and that came into my head. Oh, my Art Basel Miami. It's I don't know. I'm just looking at the art press report. It's getting kind of sillier and sillier, but it was always pretty silly.
As
It's
far
a
as just like more
oh
attention
well,
grabbing high concept pieces, or
it's a part. You know, they talk about the parties and celebrities
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um uh uh yeah. But we did okay. I mean I've just it's just not for me. That I don't oh
Yeah.
um and but I think that for I'd say my younger colleagues who are you know, well, I'm still on a learning curve, but who are on a learning curve, I urge them when they go there to do as much networking as possible. In other
Hmm.
words, there's a lot
Hmm.
of activities that go on outside the booth, so to speak,
Yes. Yeah.
and it would be exhausting. I couldn't do it, but they're young, they can do it.
Sure.
No, to go to the party or the panel discussion or
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
it's a very good opportunity for them to get to know people who are the same career, I don't want to say career level or age or whatever, because that's how they can build their, you know, base of friends and clients and people in the business, you know. Yeah, so I think we're going to do Hong Kong again
Yeah.
in March, and
Hmm.
I put my name down for that
Huh.
because
Yeah.
actually a couple of the clients that I met with in Japan said they would be going to that
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I met a guy there last time, a very nice fellow he's American actually. And he's a big high up in Hong Kong University, and he might set up for me to give a lecture there.
Nice. Yeah.
It'd be nice. On the other hand, I guess if I say the wrong thing now, I could be thrown into jail, or I don't know what they do to me.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't be laughing, but I mean, it's. I mean, well.
Yeah, just before I left, I had lunch with a young artist who's now teaching at the School of Visual Arts, and she and her husband live in Hong Kong. She's from Hong Kong, and she told me that a friend of theirs, not a close friend, but an acquaintance, who was walking in the street near where a demonstration was taking place,
Huh.
was wearing a black mask,
Uh,
was thrown in jail for 10 months.
wow. I mean, wow.
Wearing a black mask because he wore a mask.
Right. But if you, no, but these kind of,
Fortunately, it was the same type of mask that the demonstrators were wearing.
right. No. And this is, yeah, these,
There's no law. There was no trial. There was no,
wow.
he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing the wrong thing, right? They've no, I mean, what his politics were or weren't, is
Yeah.
not an issue. He would, and that's the power they have now, and they exercise it.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. But no, but I mean these mask bans, they're becoming popular here. And again, when you have inept assassins, it is a complicated thing. But there are people who are really, but it ties in also with how right wingers never wanted to wear masks anyway. And some people are legitimately immunocompromised. Some people wear masks because they need to and or to protect others. And that's. But
when I first went to Japan and I saw people in the street wearing masks, I was told correctly, it's because they think they know they have colds because they don't feel well.
right.
They're wearing masks not so that they don't contract something, but they don't want to spread it.
Right. Which is.
It's a public, it was being a good citizen.
Which, I mean, to me, anyone who ever argued with mask bans, that's all they were saying was, I don't care about other people. Like that, I don't understand. It's not, it's a piece of cloth on your face. It's not, but we're not going to relitigate that now. What's your week look like? What do you have anything coming up? Anything you're looking forward to?
Get over jet lag.
Yes.
We actually have, the New York Foundation for the Arts board member and friends and staff party here at 335 West 38th.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm a bit overwhelmed because they tell me now there are 85 people. So
I was just.
we're not catering it. So
No, I know, but you used to throw parties more often, and
yeah, but this is yes. Yeah, I know.
so, but yeah.
Anyway, so that'll be Thursday.
Sure.
No, probably. It'll be a busy winding, as you said, winding up
Yeah.
the holiday because I'm a bit confused now. Christmas is a week from Wednesday.
Sure.
I will be off that week.
Yeah.
We'll be off that week. Yeah. So I don't quite know where we'll be. We'll probably be in the city for Christmas Day, and then maybe go up.
Sure.
Go up on the Thursday. I'm putting on weight. I have to limit my Christmas intake. It's difficult to make a resolution before Christmas.
Right. Well, I mean, it's.
Yes.
I think. I mean, I think it's a time of year where people feel. Well, it depends. No, do you just kind of enjoy it and then worry about it afterwards?
Actually, to be truthful, if Christmas means I'm eating more home cooking,
Yes.
I don't put on weight.
Right. No. Right. Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but when I'm on my own, when I'm feeding myself,
Yes. Yep.
then I put on weight. I don't know.
Yeah.
To stop feeding myself. It's not that I don't eat healthily. I just do think that there's a huge amount of food that gets delivered is processed. Even stuff that I buy to feed up is processed. I don't really cook, but then I take people, if I take clients out to lunch, it's difficult for me not to eat bread, you know.
Right. No, right. I mean, I
A
do
lot
cook.
of it's psychological.
I know, I was just gonna say, I do cook and I like to cook. Nonetheless, yes, if I'm just eating for myself, I tend to eat much more processed foods, much more convenience foods, much more just like quick and rather than make a whole meal just for one person. And so, yeah, no, it is harder to be.
Look, you haven't changed. Your weight doesn't change.
No, but I am aware that my mother's weight didn't change until her 50s. And then it did, and then it did quite. I mean, so it's not. I mean, part of me is like, I think this is just my body type, and it's probably not going to change. I mean, you see lots of older folks who just, it's not inevitable to gain weight, but I mean, I definitely get, I definitely, I mean, if I'm going to gain weight, it's around my gut. It's around, yeah, I mean, I get that middle-aged sort of belly.
I thought her medication had something to do with
Oh, no, yes, no, and especially, yes, her medication definitely had something to do with it too. That is true.
it. I thought. I mean, I
No,
didn't
you're
know.
right. No, you're right. And I had, yeah, in any event, my weight doesn't particularly change, but I still, I mean, I don't just eat whatever I want to, I mean, I still try to eat healthfully. Like, it's not about weight. It's about eating, eating the rainbow and a variety and whole grains and all the, it's all the good stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Just
Enjoy the week.
You
Talk
too.
to-
No, yes. Have a great week. Have that Night Fest party. Well, it sounds daunting, but fun. Yeah. All right. Talk to you hopefully next week.
You will, definitely.
Yeah, I've missed
Saturday.
you. It's good to see you. It's good to talk to you. I love you.
I miss you too.
Bye.
I love you. Bye.